Hello, so today I'm just going to be filming a quick Blu-ray pickups video. It's been about 3 months since I last posted to this channel, and I would like to get back to posting semi-regularly. I just really haven't been picking up a lot of movies. This is sort of the first bunch of movies I picked up in the last 3 months. I don't even think I've picked up any horror movies in the last 3 months aside from these films, so my stack isn't super huge for a 3 month time span, but it is a decently big stack of movies. It's probably the biggest stack that I've had in any of my pickup videos. I have about three different stacks. One is just an Amazon order because I sold some of my Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers and used it to pick up some horror movies I've been missing from my collection. And then I have a stack from going to Half Price Books and picking up like a whole little stack of horror movies from that. And then I have a Groove order. It was the first time I've ever ordered from Groove, and they were doing a 3 for $20 Blu-ray sale, and I just went through and I added every single horror movie that I didn't have from the sale. It was only like 10 pages of movies, and I went through and I added like every single horror movie I didn't have that was on sale, and I went through and I whittled it down to like six. So I picked up six Blu-rays for around $40. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna go through the Amazon order first. So I picked these up from Amazon, these four movies, and sold some of my Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers to get them because I am trying to get rid of all of those. So first, and I've seen almost every single movie in this stack, which is something I'm trying to do from now on, is mostly buy movies I've seen, because for a long time I would watch a movie on a streaming service and really love it, like the one that I'm about to show, and then I wouldn't buy it because I would buy like obscure Vinegar Syndrome movies or Severin films because I wanted to collect those things, but I wasn't buying movies that I'd already seen, so there was a bunch of holes in my collection. Like I just recently, like 6 months ago, finally picked up like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 and The Town That Dreaded Sundown and a bunch of movies that I've loved for a long time, but I always had access to them through streaming services. So that's why I'm trying to just mainly pick up movies that I've seen. If I watch a movie and really like it, it'll be added to the list of movies that I want to pick up. And I'm very rarely doing blind buys anymore because I just don't think that that's a smart way to go about collecting. So the first film I picked up is a steelbook. It's the only steelbook in this entire pickup video, and it was on the going out of print list on Scream Factory, on their Shout Factory website. But I picked this up off Amazon because on Shout Factory it was like 25 bucks, and on Amazon it was like $14. And that is the Motel Hell steelbook. I was collecting a lot of these steelbooks when they first started coming out with them, and I had like all the John Carpenter ones when they were first putting them out on Blu-ray, not the 4K ones because they're re-releasing them. And then I ended up selling a few of them because I didn't really like the movie. Um, which oddly enough, all of the steelbooks that I sold, I think I sold The Howling, I sold Halloween 2 and 3, and I sold um, Army of Darkness. I now love all of those movies. So most of the steelbooks from Scream Factory that I sold, I actually regret because the first time I watched them, I didn't really like them. But this is a nice little sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff. It's not as good as Auntie Lee's Meat Pies as far as Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoffs go, but it is a pretty good film. And I watched it earlier this year, I believe, for the first time. And I wanted to get the steelbook before it went out of print because I don't think it's worth spending the money to get the 4K because I think there is a 4K from Scream Factory. And then speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's one of those franchises that I've always wanted to pick up all the movies for, and I finally picked up Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. It's not a movie that I really love. I like it more than 4, as far as Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies go that I don't like a lot. But I think there's value in owning movies, even if it's not something that you really, really like. Um, Especially if you're trying to collect a series. Like, I like the fact that I know I have access to this forever, and I've been meaning to pick it up forever. It's just not a movie that I love, so it hasn't been like a priority. But I finally have it in my collection, and I only need Texas Chainsaw 2, which I want to pick up the Vinegar Syndrome 4K of because that's the second best Texas Chainsaw film. I need 4. I need Leatherface, the prequel movie, and I need the 2022 movie, but there's not an official release of that. So if I want that, I'm going to have to pick that up on a bootleg. So, which sucks. I hate the fact that these streaming services are putting out movies and franchises that I love, like Texas Chainsaw, and there's a Ultraman Rising movie that isn't probably ever going to get an official Blu-ray release because it's a Netflix film. And it just like you want to, as a collector, you want to have every movie in a franchise you love, even if it's from a streaming service. You would hope that it would be put out physically, but it doesn't always get put out that way. And then I have another Scream Factory Blu-ray, just like I was talking about before. This is one that I've been meaning to pick up for a long time, and I just had never done it because the first time I watched it, I thought it was an okay movie. I didn't really understand the hype around it, but I actually rewatched this year and immediately realized that I was kind of stupid for not loving this movie because it is arguably a top 10 slasher movie. I think I would maybe put it in my top 10 slashers, at least my top 15 or 20 slashers, probably all time now. And that is The Burning. This is the Scream Factory Collector's Edition. Again, it's not one that's worth picking up on 4K. I don't think most movies are worth spending $30 to $40 for one single movie, especially because this was $12 on Amazon. And Blu-ray is perfectly fine. This is from like 1981. Also the greatest year in horror movies, especially for slashers, but like you don't need this on 4K for $30 when you could pick up the Blu-ray, the collector's edition for $12. I've been meaning to pick this up forever. It has been in my Amazon cart about 100 different times, and then when the time comes for me to buy some movies to add to my collection, I always end up just subbing it out for another movie. So I'm very happy to finally own this. This is a movie I'll probably revisit a lot, actually. So it's nice to have that. And then the last movie I picked up brand new off Amazon is Halloween 3. I opted to get the cheaper, like $8 just normal normal studio release Blu-ray instead of picking up the Scream Factory Collector's Edition, because it would have been like an extra like $8 or $9 even just for the normal Blu-ray. I would have loved to have this on 4K. Actually, I think that it's a movie that's worth owning on 4K and would probably look really nice. But I would rather spend $8 on this movie than $30. So maybe one day if I come across like a really nice edition of it on 4K or the Scream Factory Collector's Edition really cheap, I'll get rid of this and just buy that. But I am 2 movies away from owning the entire Halloween series. I need Halloween 4 and Halloween 5, and I don't like Halloween 5, and the only real way to own that on Blu-ray or 4K is to buy the Scream Factory Collector's Edition for like $30, and I don't want to spend $30 on a movie I don't like, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. And then the next stack is a Half Price Books haul. First up, I picked up, I think this might be the only 2 movies. There was 2 movies in this entire stack that I hadn't seen. Me and my girlfriend recently watched Poltergeist 1 and 2 and 3, like the original 3 Poltergeist films, for the first time, and I love them. I intend on picking up Poltergeist 2 and 3 eventually and upgrading 1 from the DVD to hopefully a 4K, because I think it would be worth owning on 4K. But I picked this up. I picked up the remake, which I heard is terrible, but this was like $6 at Half Price Books, and I don't think it's on a streaming service that we have, at least. And I want to watch it because I want to watch all of them. And if I'm going to own 2 and 3 and 1, I want to own the remake as well to have the whole series. And this was like $2 extra than it would have probably costed to rent, which was the other option. I haven't watched it yet. We are going to watch it. I'm just holding off a little bit because we just watched the original like a week or so ago, and I don't want to watch the remake yet. And then up next is 3 movies in a series. We have Insidious 1, Insidious 2, and Insidious 3. I went into Half Price Books specifically looking for Insidious 4 so we wouldn't have to rent it, because we were watching all these and have watched all 5 now. I think it's a slightly overrated horror series, but I don't think that there's like a horrible movie at all. It's just none of them are better than like a 3.5 star movie, maybe 4 stars for 5, because I really like that one. But I need to pick up 4 and 5 if I ever come across them. So yeah, I own the first 3 Insidious movies now. I don't really have much to say about that. And then lastly, lastly in the Half Price Books haul, the only other movie in this entire haul video that I have not watched going into purchasing it is Blade: The Iron Cross. I watched this, or I tried to watch it the other day after I bought it. I watched about 30 minutes of it and turned it off because this shit sucks. I don't know what I was expecting. I own almost every Puppet Master movie. I don't know if there's like a couple spin-offs that I'm missing, but I have the box set like sitting behind me actually, and I have the Littlest Reich. So I was like, I might as well get this because I am a big Puppet Master fan. Had never watched it. It had been at Half Price Books the last few times we came, and I was like, that's a pretty obscure horror movie to be at a Half Price Books. I'm just gonna pick it up. Tried watching it. It's dog shit. I'm keeping it because it's Puppet Master, and just like I talked about earlier, I think there's value in owning every film in a series that you enjoy, even if you own the bad ones, as long as you're not spending a shit ton of money to own the bad ones, which obviously I didn't spend a shit ton of money on that. And then lastly, I have 6 films here that I picked up during a Groove sale, which I'm going to keep my eyes on that website um, because they do really nice sales. It's like sometimes they'll do 3 for $20 Blu-rays, which is a good deal because they come out to like $6 a piece. Sometimes they come with codes. You can sell the codes and lower the price per Blu-ray even more. Um, and they have free shipping, which is nice. So I have 6 horror movies here, all of which I've seen, all of which I enjoy to varying degrees. And then firstly, we have The Last Voyage of Demeter. This is one that I've been meaning to pick up for a little while. My girlfriend likes this movie a lot more than me, so this is more of like a we finally have this in my collection. My girlfriend can watch it whenever she wants type purchase. I enjoy it, like especially because it's like a period piece vampire film. It's just not like a lot of people consider this like a modern classic already. Like they think it's an amazing movie, which I'm glad that the reception is good because I think it deserves to be like a liked movie and hopefully get a sequel, but I doubt that will ever happen. Um, it's just not one of those movies that I personally love. And then secondly, from the Groove sale, I have Malignant, which is a movie that I love. This is probably a top 10, top 15 movie from the last 10 or so years of horror for me. I love this movie. It has one of the best twists in modern horror. The trailer did not do this film justice. I went into it thinking that it was going to be a very bland, generic paranormal horror film with stupid jump scares, and then it ended up being this like body horror, giallo-esque, um, probably the closest to a giallo that a modern American filmmaker has gotten, I believe. You can actually really tell that James Wan was like wearing his influences on his sleeve with this one, with the body horror and the giallo inspiration and the twists and stuff like that. I love this movie. This is a movie I'm probably going to end up watching throughout my lifetime, like 20, 30 times. It's worth owning physically for me. Out of the entire stack, it's the one that I kind of wish I had on 4K the most. But I wasn't going to pass up owning this movie for like $6. I've been meaning to buy it for years, and I finally own it. So I'm happy about that. And then next up, we have an animal horror film. If you want to consider it a horror film, I do. And that is Cocaine Bear. It's sort of like a horror comedy action animal attack movie. This was Elizabeth Banks' directorial debut, and I think she did a really good job. And it is also um, a very niche thing to do as a directorial debut for somebody that's been in the industry for as long as she has. It has like the name appeal that she has. It just seems like a weird choice, but also she did a great job with this. I think it was Ray Liotta's last film. He might have died while filming this, but I'm pretty sure that it was his last film before he passed away. It is pretty insane. Like you like the name Cocaine Bear makes you think that it's going to be an insane movie. It is an insane movie. I love Cocaine Bear. Next up, we have Freaky, which is a movie that I watched this year for the first time, like a couple movies in this haul, and it's sort of like Freaky Friday but with a slasher. Vince Vaughn does a really good job in it. I don't, yeah, Catherine Newton. Catherine Newton, outside of like Mia Goth and Samara Weaving, is probably one of the best modern scream queens. I mean, Jenny Ortega is up there also. Samara Weaving is my personal favorite. I think Mia Goth has like the most range out of anyone involved in horror right now. She's probably like actually the best actress in horror with like Pearl and X and all that. But Catherine Newton was in Lisa Frankenstein. She was in this. She was in Abigail. I hope she continues to do horror movies because she's very good at it. And this is like an interesting take on slasher films, which is very welcome because it's a genre that you can only do so much in. Like we have like Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, and this and a handful of other movies that have really done something different over the last 15 or 20 years. I enjoy like just stereotypical normal slasher films, but it's nice when you get something that like does something completely different, like Freaky does. And then we have a movie from the 70s. I think this is the oldest movie in this entire haul, probably. I've been meaning to pick this one up for a long time because it's like a classic horror film. It's one of those ones that get thrown in the conversation of like the all-time great horror movie remakes. And I only watched it one time around the time that I was first really getting into horror films, and I enjoyed it to an extent, but I haven't watched it since, and I would like to reevaluate my opinion on it. And that is the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I need to get the 50s film and rewatch that, and I also know that there's like a weird sequel remake to this called just The Body Snatchers, and I would like to watch that as well. I've never seen that one. But this I've been meaning to pick up for a long time. It's like $8 on Amazon, so even if I didn't pick it up in this sale, it is really cheap. There is like a Kino Lorber edition, there's a Scream Factory edition, and I always imagined that I would pick up a really nice version of this movie. Like there's even a 4K out, and I don't think it's too expensive, but just like with Malignant, the $6 for like Malignant I love, so I'm not saying this about Malignant, but $6 for a movie that I enjoy, but I don't love, and hopefully I like it even more than I did before when I rewatch this soon, is a really good deal. And I don't see a need to buy some nice fancy edition to have the film on Blu-ray with a different case and some extra special features. I don't know how many times I'm going to watch that in my life. It's a good deal, and I'm excited to revisit it and hopefully watch the Body Snatchers and revisit the original and buy that because I do need that in my collection. And then lastly, we have probably the most disliked movie by the general audience in this entire pickups video. It's my favorite Rob Zombie movie. I never imagined that I would enjoy this movie as much as I did. I also never imagined that I would dislike half of Rob Zombie's movies as much as I did. I love The Devil's Rejects. I think it's a great movie. I think 3 from Hell is watchable. I think 31 is watchable. I think Lords of Salem is interesting, even if it's not that great. And like, I would like to pick up I'll pick up any Rob Zombie movie I don't have in my collection because I think that they're at least interesting, even if I don't think they're good. But I love this movie. Everyone hates the shit out of it, and I'm excited to have it in my collection. And that is The Munsters. I think that this is Rob Zombie's best movie. I watched all of them within the last 2 years, and I ranked them, and this came in number 1 on my Letterboxd ranking for Rob Zombie's filmography. I love this movie. It's a little bit too long in my opinion. It's like almost 2 hours long. It doesn't need that runtime, but it's like, it feels like if Full Moon was still making like, it's like the original Puppet Master movies or Castle Freak or something. Like, it feels like a Full Moon movie, but with a bigger budget, better actors, minus Sherry Moon, who can't act for shit. I don't care what anyone says. She sucks as an actress. But I love the movie. That's it for my most recent pickups videos. I hope to keep adding more and more to my collection like I just recently did. I haven't been adding that much, but I am going to Scarefest in October, so I know for a fact I'm going to be doing a pickups video after Scarefest because I'm going to be leaving there with a bunch of Blu-rays and NECA figures and stuff. And I'm going to continue going to Half Price Books, trying to pick up whatever cheap horror movies I can find to add to my collection. And there are some videos that I'm planning on filming this weekend to have some videos to add to my channel because it has been like 3 months and I want to actually commit to making videos. It's just hard. You get distracted. Sometimes you lose a little interest in your hobbies and then you have to come back. But yeah, that's my pickups video for now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.